Alright, so I was asked to show how I get my cells. So I am gonna try and show you. I use this Artist Loft silicone. Today I am going to use glue because it doesn't necessarily matter what your mixing medium is. I'm going to use this black here by Apple Barrel. Going cheap because it was all on sale, and you know, COVID and whatnot. So I have a little bit of black left over that I will make more of, but I'm just gonna do a quick little mix. So this is a small cup, filled it with some glue about 1/4 of the way up. So I would like to do 2 parts mixing medium, 1 part color. Sometimes with your heavier colors like Basic brand, they're thicker, heavier. You end up using a little bit more water when you mix them up. So I will just show you. I try to make sure that I get all the medium / glue mixed in. People use Floetrol. I also like to use the Artist Loft mixing medium. It's thinner. It's and it leaves a really nice shiny gloss on your paintings too. That one's really nice to use, but when you're in a pinch and you have a crap ton of glue laying around your house because you're just a crafty person, that glue works well to make your paint go farther. So the main thing is to end up getting all of your colors to be the exact same consistency, and sometimes they take a little bit to mix in. But you want them to flow nice, because if it's not flowing very well off of your mixing stick or spoon or whatever you use, it's not going to flow very well on your canvas, no matter what type of canvas you're using. So that's better. That's kind of what I like mine to look like. And I get them all to that same consistency, so I'm going to pause you for a second and get the rest there. Okay, so I got them all mixed up. They're all the exact same consistency, and you can kind of judge that when you hold the 2 up and you watch them fall. They should look almost identical in the side of the cup as they're dripping down into your cup. Now I have some silver and some color shift green. It goes from green to gold. I kind of like it, but I only put silicone in a couple of my paints, and this black was left over, so there's already some in there. I had previously put 4 drops of silicone in the black, so I'm only going to put 2 in there just because there's already some, and I'm only putting 1 in the magenta and mixing it in. You don't have to mix a lot. You can mix a lot if you want. It just depends on what you want your cells to look like. So I just try to make sure that it gets throughout all of them. I like my black to be kind of lacy. So that's kind of what I do. And then I will put just a little tiny bit of the black in first. All right, so I got my cup ready, tip it on. There is no silicone in this white, so I'll use that as I need to spread and move the paint around. Then you use your torch to get the bubbles and to make the silicone move up. Then you'll kind of see, you'll figure out where the cells are that you want to keep and what you're okay with flowing off. So you just kind of let it develop for a second. And then I add a little bit of extra paint where I think I might need it to flow, just in case there's some cells near that area that I want to keep. Then they will flow over this white paint instead of rolling under as you shift your board around. So kind of what I want to keep right here is this middle area. I think it looks nice. So I will just slowly move it around. And when you get to a point like how it just tipped off that edge, if you want to keep some of what's falling off, then tip it the opposite direction so you do get to keep that. So as you're going and learning, you'll figure out how to move your paint around on the canvas too. Like you can kind of see where the mass of paint is, and then you just kind of work it to where you want it to go. But it's also a trial and error thing, because you don't always get to keep what you wanted. So far I like how I've controlled where the cells are going. And that one looks pretty good to me, so far anyway. So sometimes you don't get it all the way over the edge like you wanted to. So you just add a little bit of your runoff onto the edge. So then you're covered. And that would be one demonstration. And I'm covered in paint. Okay, so I washed off my hands and I'm back. And there are some bubbles in here. Some of this I don't really want to run the torch over because it's just really pretty. I am gonna get a couple of the big bubbles that I do see. And you don't have to go crazy with the torch either. You just want to get a couple of the big ones that are really gonna affect how it looks when it's dry. So that's that for that painting, and I will move on to the one next to it. Alright, so and then we start our little process over again, however you want to put your colors in. But I like to put the ones that do have silicone in at the bottom, just because they end up giving you really nice cells and sort of lacing over the top. For dirty pores anyway, like what I've been doing. And I know I don't necessarily need as much paint as I have going on to these, but I do have extra canvases to fill up too. So there's that. Grabbing my little torch here and a guide to scrape it up with. Sometimes you can get really cool drips off when you scrape the edges of the cup. That's all going to disappear. But you can see right away there's some cells popping up all on their own. And then I just kind of help some more come through. So I already know kind of when I'm watching the cells grow which ones I like and don't like and kind of want to keep and wouldn't mind if they fell off. And it's always nice to have a little bit of extra paint that doesn't have silicone in it for it to run off over. So I'm just going to use my silver because I'm out of white. So that'll work. I'm just going to move it around. You don't have to go really fast. But as you can see, the silver is disappearing under the white. And I can tell that the white and the silver are not the same consistency. Work that off the edge. Some of it is moving too fast because I sucked at making sure the consistencies were equal. You just kind of shift it back and forth too if you're getting close to an edge that you kind of like. There's pieces you want to keep. So you're just stretching out the cells that are there, making them grow, moving them the way you want them to move. It's kind of a bummer that those are going to go because they're pretty after the fact. So there's that one. Not 100% in love with it, but I do like it. Alright, so I'm back. It was like a few minutes for me, but it's not very many minutes for you guys. But I am gonna coax out a couple of more cells here. If my torch will ever work. There's a lot of really nice big cells here that I stretched out pretty good, but coaxing out little tiny ones and bubbles too. So let's see, what else do I got? I got dust. So that's cool. But yeah, that's kind of how I get my big cells, with cheap paint and school glue and a little bit of silicone. So most of my silicone goes into my black, and then the rest is just shifting your canvas around. So I'll do a couple close-ups for you. And we will start with this one. This was the first one I did. I got some pretty big cells on that one too. Some are like the size of a quarter. And this one has the biggest. Oh, sorry for the ceiling fan light. So yeah, that is work on my dining room table.